Have you ever felt overlooked, underestimated, maybe even disrespected, all because you were trying to be nice? You don't speak up, you don't push back. You say yes when everything inside you screams no. Why? Because you were taught that being liked is the goal. But here's the truth. Being nice and being respected are not the same. The Stoics didn't strive to be agreeable. They trained their minds to be anchored. They didn't chase approval. They lived by virtue. What if the very thing that's keeping you small is your obsession with being seen as nice? This isn't a video about becoming rude or heartless. It's about choosing principle over approval, dignity over people-pleasing, and earning real respect the Stoic way. It's time to stop being liked and start being respected. We've been taught that being nice is a virtue. But what if I told you that niceness, as most people practice it, isn't kindness at all? It's fear dressed in politeness. You don't speak your mind when someone crosses a line. You say yes when you want to say no. You laugh at jokes that make you uncomfortable, just to keep the peace. Why? Because deep down you're afraid of being rejected, disliked, or seen as difficult. This isn't kindness, it's self-erasure. It's trading your authenticity for acceptance, and over time it drains you. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. The Stoics taught us to be indifferent to what makes no difference. They didn't mean apathy, they meant clarity. The opinions of those who do not live by reason or virtue, they do not matter. Your peace, your self-respect, that's what matters. So here's a challenge. Think of a time recently when you said yes just to avoid discomfort. Not because you meant it, but because you were afraid of what no might cause. Write it down. Why did you say yes? What were you afraid would happen if you didn't? Awareness is the first step toward reclaiming your voice. The Stoics weren't concerned with popularity. They didn't mold themselves to be liked. They forged themselves to live with virtue. To the Stoics, this was the highest aim, not to be agreeable, but to be honorable. Wisdom to know what truly matters. Courage to act, even when it's uncomfortable. Justice to treat others and yourself with fairness. Self-discipline to rise above impulses and stay grounded in principle. Respect doesn't come from trying to please everyone. It comes from being someone who refuses to betray their core values, even when it's hard. That's what people admire. That's what people remember. A man who suffers before it is necessary suffers more than is necessary. How many times have you suffered? Not because something happened, but because you feared what might happen. You avoid conflict, overextend yourself, walk on eggshells, all to avoid a storm that might never come. That isn't peace, that's self-imposed torment. When you begin to respect yourself, your time, your energy, your truth, something powerful shifts. People respond differently. You teach them how to treat you by how you treat yourself. List 3 core values you refuse to compromise on, even if it costs you approval. These are your inner code. Let them guide your words, your boundaries, your life. Respect isn't earned by staying silent or going along to get along. It's built when you start showing up as your true self, unapologetically and consistently. 1. Speak truth, not just what's pleasant. Epictetus said, "Let your yes be yes and your no be no." That's the power of integrity, of saying what you mean and meaning what you say. Not with arrogance, with clarity, with courage. People may not always like the truth, but they will respect the one who has the strength to speak it. 2. Create boundaries and keep them. Respect grows when people know your limits. When you teach others where you end and where they cannot cross. Boundaries aren't walls, they're the framework of self-respect. 3. Stop apologizing for your presence. You don't owe the world an apology for taking up space. Assertiveness isn't aggression, it's calm confidence. It's walking into a room and knowing you belong without needing to prove it. The Stoics carried their strength quietly. They didn't demand attention, they commanded it through discipline and self-possession. 4. Be useful, not agreeable. There's a big difference between being helpful and being a doormat. Stoicism teaches us to be of service, but never at the expense of our soul. You can uplift others without losing yourself. That's real strength. That's real value. Cato the Younger was a Roman senator known not for charm, but for character. He refused bribes, he stood against tyranny, he even wore the same simple clothing every day to reject vanity. Cato wasn't trying to be liked, he was trying to live rightly, and in doing so he became unshakable. His peers feared him, admired him, respected him, not because he pleased them, but because he never betrayed himself. If you want to be respected by others, you have to begin by respecting yourself. And that starts from within. The Stoics understood that you can't control how others see you, but you can control how you carry yourself, the standards you live by. That's what creates the quiet power people notice and respect. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke. Respect isn't loud. It doesn't demand. It emanates from stillness, from discipline, from choosing what's right over what's easy again and again. Self-respect is built through small, invisible acts. It's saying no to what weakens you. It's showing up when no one's watching. It's keeping promises you made to yourself. If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. You don't need to impress the crowd, you need to impress your conscience. If that voice inside you grows stronger than the noise outside, the world will start to take notice. Every morning, ask yourself, am I acting from principle or from people-pleasing? Write your answer down. One sentence, one truth, every day. You were not born to be agreeable. You were born to be anchored. The Stoics didn't strive to win favor, they strived to live with integrity. Stop asking, do they like me? And start asking, did I stay true to myself? That's the transformation from being nice to being respected. If this message hits home for you, don't just watch, act. Drop a comment below. What's one value you refuse to compromise on, even if it makes you less likable? I want to hear from you. And more importantly, so do the people in this community. If you're serious about living with principle over people-pleasing, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because this channel is about building a stronger, wiser, and more respected version of you, using ancient wisdom that still hits hard today. Be kind, but don't disappear. Be helpful, but don't hollow yourself out. And above all, live by a code. The right people will see it, and respect will follow. Thank you for staying with me on this one. I'll see you in the next one.